Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king!
Marcellus, you come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold and I am sick at heart.
Have you had a quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Oh well, good night to thee, Francisco. And if you are to meet Horatio, bid him make haste.
I think I hear him. Stand ho! Who is there?
Friend to this ground, and liegeman to the Dane.
Marcellus hath my place. Give you good night.
Hello, Marcellus. What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
'Tis but a simple fantasy, this belief taken hold twice a steady night. Hence, I have come to bear witness these minutes of the night, that if words speak it that true, the apparition may approve my eyes to speak it, but 'twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears for what we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Marcellus speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon star, that's westward from the pole, where now it burns, the bell, the beating one. Peace to thine ears! Look where it comes again, in the same figure like the king that's dead. Thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio. Looks he not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like, it horrors me with fear and wonder. Where art thou that usurpest this time of night, with that fair and warlike form of the majesty of buried Denmark? By heavens, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended. See, it stalks away.
Stay! Speak! Speak! I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone and will not answer. How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. It is not this something more fantasy?
Before my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, such was the very armor he bore against the tides of Norway combated. 'Tis strange. In what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of mine opinions, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now, sit down. Tell me, he that knows why the same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, who is that can't inform me?
That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king who hath dared to combat by Fortinbras of Norway, who by a sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit all those lands to his conqueror. Again, that which a morality competent was gauged by our king, which had returned to the Harringtons of Fortinbras. With this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, of this watch, and of this post-haste and rummaging of the land.
I think it to be no other, but even so.
But soft, behold! Lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may thee to ease me, speak to me. Oh, speak, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death. Speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
Shall I strike it with my partisan?
Do, if it shall not stand.
'Tis here.
'Tis here.
'Tis gone. We do it wrong to offer it show of violence. For it, as the air invulnerable and our vain blows malicious mockery, it was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I've heard that the rooster, that is the trumpet of the morn, confines upon his call the erring spirits that high.
It faded such then on the crowing of the rooster. This bird of dawning singeth all night long, and to no spirit dare stir abroad, wherein the nights are wholesome, so hallowed, so gracious is that time.
So I've heard, and do in part believe. But look, the morn in the russet mantle clad walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, shall speak to him. Pray you, 'tis the accord to acquaint him with it, fitting our duty.
I pray, and this morning know where we shall find him most convenient.
forget our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and we bear our hearts in grief. We must do so in conjunction with remembrance of ourselves. For all, myself, our sometime sister, now queen, we give our thanks. Now follows, our state hath been disjointed and out of frame due to young Fortinbras pestering ourselves with the returning of his lands lost by his father. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of Fortinbras, to reel him in. Good Volterman, bear this greeting to him, letting haste command your duty.
And that in all things we will show our duty.
Good Hamlet, do not seek for thy father in the dust.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay it is. I know not seems a man mighty play at grief with a solemn black coat, the fruitful river in the eye and forced breath, but I have within me the true grief. That which shows all the rest are but the trappings and facades of woe.
'Tis commendable, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know that your father lost a father, and that father lost his, and more onward. And the survivors, bound in obligation, have some term a dutiful sorrow. But 'tis unmanly grief to preserve in stubborn dejection. 'Tis a fault to heaven, a fault to the dead, a fault to nature, and an unfortified heart. Throw off these woes, and think of me as your father. I bear you no less nobility of love. Come, I beseech you, I bend you, remain here, my greatest courtier, my cousin and son.
Hamlet, I pray thee, go not to Wittenberg. Let not thy mother lose her prayers.
I shall in my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and fair reply. This gentle accord of Hamlet sits smiling upon my heart. The Denmark drinks today, and the rouse shall echo in the heavens. Come away.
Oh, that everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter, that it should come to this, but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not two, so excellent a king that was to this that is now, and yet within a month. Frailty, thy name is woman, married with my uncle, my father's brother. But no more like my father than I to Hercules. It is not, nor cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship!
I'm glad to see you well, Horatio, or do I forget myself?
The very same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change the name with you and what makes you from Wittenberg, Horatio, and Marcellus.
My good lord.
I am glad to see you, but what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition, my good lord.
I would not hear your enemy say so, nor shall you do my ear that violence. I know you are no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore?
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee do not much, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
The funeral meats did so coldly furnish forth the marriage tables, what I had met in dearest foe in heaven, than had seen that day. Horatio, my father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a good king.
He was a man. Take him for a while, and all, I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father.
Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of this gentleman this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together with this gentleman Marcellus on his watch, in the dead vast and middle of the night, thus encountered a figure like your father, with solemn march, and go slowly and stately by him. Thrice he walked by his oppressed and surprised eyes. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart he did, and I with him on the 3rd night did keep watch, where, as he had delivered, the apparition came. I knew your father. These hands were not warlike.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but as it lifted its head, as if it would speak, but then the morning rooster crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk away and vanished from our sight.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true, and we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of this.
Indeed, sirs. But this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
I do, my lord.
Armed, say you?
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
From head to foot.
Then saw you not his face?
Oh, yes, my lord, he wore his visor up.
What looked he, befrowningly?
Countenance more sorrow than anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
I would I had been there.
It would have much frightened and amazed you.
Very like. Stayed it long?
With one with moderate haste might tell 100?
Nay, longer.
Not what I saw it.
His beard was grizzled on?
It was as I have seen it in life.
I will watch tonight, perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me to hold my peace. I pray you both, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let you continue your silence, and whatsoever shall happen tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. So fare you well upon this platform, 'twixt 11 and 12. I'll visit you.
Our duty is to your honor.
As mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirits in arms. All is not well. I suspect some foul play. Would the night were come, till then sit still my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet, in the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood. Forward, not permanent. Sweet, not lasting. The perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more but so.
Think it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor coddle doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must fear, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and the health of the whole state. Be wary then, best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, but my good brother, do not show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst a puffed and reckless libertine.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard, for shame! The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these free precepts in my memory, look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor an unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them upon unto thy soul with hoops of steel. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, and take each man's censor, but reserve thy judgment. This above all, to thine own self be true.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what all I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory logged, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Marry well be though. 'Tis told me he hath oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have your audience been most free and bounteous. What is it between you?
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of affection to me.
Affection. You speak like a green girl unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I will teach you. Think yourself a baby that have taken these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion,
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to.
and hath given me consonance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springes to catch woodcocks. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, you must not take for a fire. From this time be something scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parle. For Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given to you. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it. I charge you, come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and sharp air.
What happens now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed? I heard it not. What doth this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight, and takes his rouse as he drains his draughts of wine down, and trumpet does spray out his triumph.
Is it a custom?
Aye, 'tis merry, but this heavy-headed revel east and west makes us traduced and taxed to other nations. They leap and they cleap us drunkards, and indeed it takes from our achievements these men carrying, I say. The stamp of one defeat shall, at the general censure, take corruption from that particular fault, and from the dram of evil doth all the noble substances often extinguish to his own scandal.
Look, my lord comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or of the damned. I shall speak with thee, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me. Tell me why, like canonized bones, hearsed of death, have burst their cerements. What may this mean, that thou, dead corpse, revisit us the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous of the horrors so horridly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if to commune with you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to move to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at him's fee, and for my soul, what can it do that, being a thing immortal itself, it waves me forth again? I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you towards the flood, my lord, or the dreadful summit of the cliff, and there assumes some other terrible form and draws you to madness? Think of it, that very place, the thoughts of desperation it puts into every brain, overlooking many fathoms of the sea and hearing it roar beneath.
It waves me still. Go on. I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
My fate cries out, still I am called. Gentlemen, by heaven, I'll make a ghost of him, if he hinders me. I say, go away, go on, I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not thus to obey him.
Have after. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow.
Whither thou lead me, speak. I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself. Lead thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold. So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear. I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast and fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. List, list, O list, if thou didst ever love thy dear father, revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Haste me know it, that I, with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love, may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt. Now, Hamlet, hear. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me, so the whole ear of Denmark is by purged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sing thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
I, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebena, in a vial and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effects hold such an enmity, thin and wholesome blood, so did it mine. Thus was I, cut off. O horrible, most horrible. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursues this act, take not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Fare thee well at once. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
Remember thee, remember thee! So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word it is taken. Adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it.
Give him this money and these notes, Ronaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him, to make inquiry of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Marry, well said, very well said. Look you, sir, inquire me first what gangsters are in Paris, and how and who, what means, and where they keep, what company, at what expense. Take you, as 'twere, some distant knowledge of him, as thus, I know his father and his friends, and in part him. Do you mark this, Ronaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And in part him, but, you may say, not well. But if it be he, I mean, he is very wild. Take heed of that. But, sir, such wanton, wild, unusual slips as our companions noted, and most known to youth and liberty. But breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty, of general assault.
But, my lord.
Wherefore should you do this?
My lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here's my drift, and I believe it is fetch of wit. You laying these slight sullies on my son, having ever seen in the predominant crimes the youth you breathe of guilty, be assured he closes with you in this consequence. Good sir, or so, or friend, according to the phrase or the addition of man and country.
Very good, my lord.
By indirections, fine directions, out so by my former lecture and advice shall you, my son. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with ye, fare ye well.
Good, my lord.
Lord Polonius! My lord, I have been so frightened. With what in the name of God? My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet with his doublet all embraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, with so piteous a purport, as if he had been loose out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by my wrist, and held me hard, and then too he fell into such a perusal of my face. Long stayed he so. When it came upon him that he did falter, he lets me go, and with his head over his heels he turned. He seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their help, until the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property forebows itself, and leads the will to desperate undertakings that oft afflict our natures. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you commanded, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I have not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle and meant to wreck thee. Come, we go to the king. This must be known.
which being kept close might have more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Come!
Welcome, dear Rosengild. Moreover, that we did much long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Hamlet neither inward nor outward resembles what was, and what should be that hath put him so I cannot dream of. I entreat you to meet with him, and to glean what to us is unknown that afflicts him thus.
Good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am 2 men there are not living to whom he more adheres. For the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread of pleasures more common than entreaty. But I obey, and here give up myself to lay my service freely at your feet.
Thank you, gentle Rosengild.
I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
Heavens make my presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king, and I do think that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That I do long to hear.
Since brevity is the soul of wit, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, I call it. For to define true madness, what is it but to be nothing but mad?
More matter with less art.
Mad, let us grant him then. And now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say, the cause of this defect. For this effect defective comes by cause. Consider that. I have a daughter, who in her obedience hath given this to me. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautiful Ophelia. That's an ill phrase. Beautified, and this a vile phrase. But you shall hear, thus, in her excellent white bosom, these...
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while, I will shed light. Doubt thou stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. O dear Ophelia, I am ill at these verses. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. Oh, most best believe it, thine evermore, most dear lady, what this machine is to him, Hamlet.
Now, how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so, but you might not think such. When I learned of this, I in haste did I bespeak my young mistress. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star, this must not be. She took the fruits of my advice, and he repulsed fell into sadness, thence into the madness where now he raves.
Do you think this?
It may be very like.
Hath there been such a time, I'd fain know that I have positively said, 'tis so, when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take my head from my shoulders if it be otherwise.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks for hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter on him. Be you and I behind, and harass then, mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from his reason, let me be no assistant for estate, but keep a farm and carters.
We'll try it.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you, both away. I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God a mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well. You are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you so are an honest man.
Honest, my lord.
Aye, sir. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That is very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead animal. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it.
How say you to that? Still harping on my daughter, yet he knew me not at first. In my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean, the matter that you read, my lord.
Oh, slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, should I be old as I am, if like a crab, you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part withal, except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
My most dear honored lord,
My excellent good friend, how doth thou, Rosengild?
happy in that we are not over happy.
Ah, then you live in the middle of fortune's favors. What's the news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near, but your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friend, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord,
Denmark is a prison,
then the world is one.
a goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst.
I think not so, my lord.
Why then 'tis none of you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison. Shall we to the court? For by my ways I cannot reason.
I'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you from Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you. And sure, dear friend, my thanks are too dear a half a penny. Were you not sent for? You were sent for. This is a kind of confession in your words.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
My lord, I was sent for.
I will tell you why I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercise, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame and earth appears to me no other than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapor. To me, it is the quintessence of dust. Man delights not me, no, nor woman, neither. Though by your smiling, you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thought.
Why did you laugh, then, when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We passed them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city?
Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they still so honored?
Their endeavors keep them in that wonted place. There they are.
Your friend, you are welcome in Elsinore, but my uncle, father, and aunt, mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Rosengild. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clothes.
Happily, he's the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
I have news to tell you.
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Buzz.
Upon mine honor.
Then came each actor on his ass.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral, scene indivisible, or poem unlimited, for the law of writ and the liberty. These are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou.
What a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter, and no more, which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not in the right, old Jephthah?
I do have a daughter that I love passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then, my lord?
The first row of the pious chanson will follow you, for look, where my abridgment comes. Oh, my good friend, thy face is valiant since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? During your stay, we shall have you perform a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once. For the play, I remember, pleased not the million, but it was an excellent play.
'Twas Aeneas' tale to ditto, and thereabout of it especially, where he speaks of Priam's slaughter, if it lives in your memory.
Ah, indeed. I'll have you speak it out soon in performance. Good, my lord. Will you see the other players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their deserts.
None, much better. Use every word after his desert. None, much better. Use every man after his desert, and who should escape whipping. Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
You could, for need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert it in, could you not?
But of course, my lord.
Very well. Follow that, lord, and look you mock him not. Had this player have the same motive and cue for passion that have I, he would drown the stage with tears and make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze, indeed, the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy, meddled rascal, can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life was defeated by murder. Am I a coward? Oh, bloody body villain! Remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefictions. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks. If he blench out, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yes, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, he abuses me to damn me. But I'll have the grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing where I'll catch the consciousness of the king.